social anxiety and shyness here, we are often confused about how relevant is shyness to social anxiety. Now, shyness does not necessarily have to be giving us social anxiety. No. As we all know, there are people who are a little shy, who are more of an introvert than being an extrovert. And they are leading their life quite comfortably, despite the fact that they are shy. So if we look at, is it a problem to be shy? No. As long as it's not affecting our life, as long as it's not affecting the quality of our life, it's absolutely fine. At the same time, and I think this is going to make some of the shy people perhaps who have joined us today, and if you're not shy, maybe you know of people who are shy, that they have a very calming effect on people around them. With regards to shyness and social anxiety, because you're shy, it doesn't mean you are having a social anxiety issue. So let me just reassure you on that. And when we talk about merely shyness alone, we can just understand that there is apprehension involved. There's a lack of comfort about being around people. And the shyness can also be to environmental problems or environmental issues, as well as biological reasons as well. And it can also stem from the anxiety or interactions that people have with their parents. Yes, so those of you who are parents, I think it's a small reminder to us that we need to be very careful when it comes to interacting with our children. Shyness and its relationship with social anxiety. We need to consider that when it comes to social anxiety, the feeling is often extremely intense. It is intense because it's affecting the quality of life, which of course, the moment our life's quality is affected, we are definitely troubled, because we all value the kind of quality, the kind of excellence we experience in life every day. The second one, or the second factor, which actually gives us an idea that our problem is relating to social anxiety, is it's a persistent fear of being watched and judged. Yes, we can definitely term that issue as an issue which comes under social anxiety. And at the same time, it's also a fear that our personal life and professional life is getting affected by the sense of anxiety again. The first one will be, you will start avoiding situations that involve social interactions. For example, if it's a situation where you can just make sure you don't need to interact with people, you would opt for that. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is whether you will start worrying whether you're going to be humiliated. Are you going to be embarrassed? Is it going to be a situation where you will find yourself in a place you don't want to be because you're going to feel very ashamed? The second one. The third one is you will constantly wish to analyze your behavior. You would like to analyze your behavior after an event and also criticize yourself in terms of what you could have done better. Now, in every event or any experience, life experience, we often would like to look at what we could have done better, which is perfectly fine. The challenge arises when you happen to be experiencing an event, and after the event, you're not trying to tell yourself you can be better. No. You understand you have an anxiety issue and you're constantly trying to criticize yourself. And now when we look at the ways we might develop social anxiety is, of course, it could be from because of family history. It could be because of negative experiences. It could be temperamental differences between people. And of course, it could be the new work demands that we have. Because today, a lot of people are not working in the office environment. For some, it is extremely difficult because they love to meet people. They love to interact with people and speak to them, get to know them, find out how their day had been. Hypersensitivity to criticism. Now, this is also another way how anxiety can affect our life and at the same time affect our social skills. That is another way. And of course, making sure that you have difficulty in reaching out to people, like I mentioned earlier, including getting into certain modes of self-isolation. And another factor is, of course, it can affect our not just employment, but our educational progress as well, because this is not something which initially either parents or even teachers may notice at a glance, but it could be something a lot more deeper, which people may not immediately notice, other than the person who is experiencing it. And of course, substance abuse. Now, substance abuse often is taken up when there is a desire to be running away from something. You're filling in something, and for that gap or absence of that feeling, you tend to have a certain addiction come into your life. So that is another challenge here. And of course, suicide or attempts at suicide is also another factor which can result out of anxiety. Having a journal just for this is also helpful because you're able to get a better idea of where you stand. The third thing would be to prioritize issues in life. A lot of challenges come in life because of lack of prioritization. That includes even relationship. Because how much time are you giving a relationship? Do you have your boundaries? Yes, boundaries are very important. And are you assertive enough? Do you know when to say no? Now, these are all questions that you would need to answer to overcome or prevent an anxiety from flourishing in your life. And of course, like I mentioned earlier about substance addiction, please and do ensure as much as possible that that is not an area you consider because you are trying to run away from another issue altogether. Now, when you look at ways to treat social anxiety, we can look at lifestyle changes, okay? You can look at lifestyle changes, the kind of lifestyle you're leading now. You can look at it and consider what are the steps you need to make it a more positive transformational life that you're looking at. So the first thing would be about lifestyle changes and of course, considering practice by getting into social environment where you can bring in the changes you desire. For example, it may not be something that you're happy about or thrilled about, but how are you able to get into it? Why not give it a try? So gradually, taking one step at a time, you get into that state which you wanted to avoid. Next thing is, I think I had mentioned to Kenneth earlier, the fact is, please do realize that you are not alone. And there are so many people who are experiencing anxiety. They may not even realize it. Psychotherapy can also help you when and if required. Medication also, if required. Joining a support group. Now, joining a support group can also help immensely because you will be talking and meeting people who would be sharing their experiences. So please reach out to people. I think the key factor here is to reach out so that you are able to get the help you need. And of course, I think psychotherapy would also enable you to consider techniques. The therapist will also enable you to look at techniques that will help you change your negative thinking and help you find the root cause of your anxiety. And through role plays, give yourself an understanding about what ideal interactions can be and how much they are able to help you. Understand, accept that you are not perfect. And by accepting that, you are able to work on yourself. Okay, so displaying confidence is, of course, I think, which I mentioned, is also very, very important. And help others. You heard me right. Help others as much as you can. It doesn't have to be always about money. It can be about just reaching out and making the change which they would like themselves to experience. And if you're able to even change one person's life, I think the effort that you're putting in will be worth it. So reach out to people who probably are in similar situations or even in worse situations than yourself, and see what kind of change you can bring in such people, because you may be surprised. Okay, and I think I mentioned about adopting a healthier lifestyle to reduce anxiety, including breathing techniques as well. Appreciate ourselves, get good sleep, laugh, be close to nature, read inspiring material, share experiences with your loved ones, be positive and be with very, very positive people as well. Visualize what you want, stop waiting to be rescued, and of course, like I mentioned earlier, please engage yourself in volunteering work. And if you still believe you need to get help, do not hesitate. Please go forward, move forward, and take help that you need.